Hey, it's Ladies Come Away, come on vibing, come on vibing, come on vibing, says peace, spread the word. Today I am going to be drawing one of my favorite characters from L.K.H Hamilton, Anita Blake, L.K.H Hamilton, one of the main vampires in the series. His name is Jean-Claude. Some people call him Jean-Claude or whatever. But I am going to be drawing Jean-Claude with my textile abilities. So, of course, you need a pencil and paper. And so I got 1, 2, 3, and one more. Oh, yeah. 4. So I use different figurines for textile. Alright, so this is how I do my drawings. So, without further ado, here we go. Sometimes I switch things up. I always like figurines that the sizes of a Star Wars action figure because they're easy to hold and not so bulky for my hands. That's why I always prefer the 3.75 inch figures or smaller. It's just easier for the hands. So right now I'm gonna do his body. I did the basic one of it. And foreshortening has not always been my best friend. Foreshortening was always something challenging for me, but I don't ever let it stop me from getting to what I need to get done. Sometimes I look at the original character, sometimes I do not. I use by memory, by touch and everything. So you get to see how the magic is made. Positioning of the hands has always been a bigger challenge for me. Because a lot of times you have to rely on foreshortening and everything. Something I do not have because I'm partly blind. So I often have to look at figures, look at drawings, or just try. Sometimes I rarely use live models, so I really don't like doing that. I prefer touch more than anything. Sorry about that. Just checking to make sure everything is right there. The hardest part about drawing people is gender. I prefer to draw males more than females because males is just done, and females are harder because you gotta think about the curves, the chest, all the extra assets. So I don't have a problem with drawing women, but I prefer to draw men more because there's just less of what I have to do. But female bodies is not really my favorite. But I do like drawing male bodies But I like drawing female faces more than male faces, which is really weird. But this, so what I do is like I'm using a Jack Sparrow figure to help like get the chest line, the gap up his shirt. So I'm trying to imitate the original drawing here. And this is the most challenging part. It's the word shortening. I hate this part of the drawing. But sometimes it's good to challenge yourself. Like, hands will always been a challenge for me, because it just is. And I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. But I'm learning how to let that go a little bit. And just try to relax when you do this. So like as I'm drawing right now, I just don't think about it. It just comes natural for me. So that's why I like action figures so much, because it makes it easier for me to get all the details that I would not be able to see with my own naked eye. So that's why I like doing figures, collecting figures, because I can get all the details of the human body or animal or whatever, and I can get it down by memory, by touch. And when I draw it, I can remember where everything is. Like right now, I'm doing one of the hardest things is voice shortening, which is not always my best one. See, this is where the biggest challenge for me is hands. And I always find ways to cover up the issue by adding fabric, extra anything to cover up the issue. So I'll put like extra clothes, extra anything to make it look like it's foreshortened or whatever the case may be or the pose may be. Sometimes I have to ask a live model. Rarely I will ask somebody to draw a stand-in pose for me. Very, very rarely. Sometimes I have to reposition my figures to feel everything. Sometimes I have to look at other people's artwork to help me understand something. So now, the trick part is I'm going to be working towards the face. So, drawing a male is actually more challenging for me because a lot of males have a lot of like square-like features, and it's hard for me to see angles, sharp angles like that. Or that's why I do a lot of my faces more like not so much like rectangles, but more like a triangular face, and then I work my way down or up depending on the person. But that's why I prefer to do female faces, because it's just softer and easier. So now, like, this is one of the hardest things is doing mouths, because he got fangs. So let me maybe do one sticking out. Sometimes I use figures that are not even related or look like another figure and to the character that I'm drawing, because sometimes I might use them for like hairline or eyebrows or whatever, because sometimes the hair on other figures can be a distraction. So this is one of the reasons why my fingers are so sensitive to a lot of stuff. Because if I get my fingers pinched, it hurts more than it should, because I'm using it a lot of times for touch. So now I'm working on the body of the hair, trying to get that going. So this is done. So I use different figures for like to feel the hair and everything, because this character has a lot of curly hair. So sometimes I use it to help me get the curves of the hair, positioning of the hair. Sometimes I use it for hair length too, because I don't use rulers or anything. I just use sense of touch to get everything down the way I want it. I was never good with ruffles, fancy clothes, anything like that. But it's fun. That's one of the reasons why I like to draw all my male characters with no shirts, because it's just, one, it's easier, and two, it's going to be a little bit tedious after a while. So this is how I would draw Jean-Claude from Anita Blake. So this is the original drawing, character, whatever. And these are the figures I actually used to make the magic happen. So I would sometimes end up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures to draw one character. So hope you like it. Keep on vibing, keep on subscribing, keep on peace. Spread the words.